Hello and welcome to Talk a Good Game. It's just finished. Southampton 0, West Ham United 1. We won. Not sure how, but we've won. 2 wins and 2 draws in our last 4 games. We're now we're closer to Manchester City than we are Leicester City in the league table, and we're finally off 14th place. For now, it feels like we've been there all season. We're now 13th. Albeit that may change depending on the Wolves Man United game, but we won another game of football. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the match and some player performances as well. Before we get into it, please do subscribe. You need to Hamish Chat. It's completely free and takes 2 seconds. And also do drop a like on the video as well by clicking the thumbs up. The first, I don't know the exact minute, the first 8-10 minutes, I thought we were doing all right, actually. I thought we were moving the ball about quite well. And Carlos Solis should have scored. Hit the crossbar. Really good play by Wan-Bissaka. Good cutback. Hit the bar. Should have done better. But from that point on, in the first half, my word, we were dreadful. We were absolutely dreadful. We got played off the park by Southampton. Played off the park by a team bottom of the league. And I know they've changed manager. However, our Lopetegui's been at West Ham for 7 months now. Their manager has not even been there for 7 days, and they look like they had a far clearer way of playing, that the players knew exactly what their manager wanted. They were getting the ball wide, they were getting loads of crosses in. West Ham decided to stand off Southampton and let them cross it to the 6'7" striker who was causing all sorts of bother in the box for headers. But they looked like they knew exactly what their manager was expecting of them, whereas we just continued to look a little bit muddled, a little bit confused, and a little bit long ball FC. But for the entire first half, bar the first handful of minutes, Southampton were by far the better team. And we have Lukas Fabianski to thank for it being 0-0 at halftime, really. A really good save from a Fernandes header, a fantastic save from an Onuachu header as well. Fabianski was good again. He was good. Then he went off injured, and Nathan Wood clattered him. I can't say if it was intentional or if it was accidental. I don't know. They didn't show a replay. I didn't really see it in real time. So I'm not going to guess as to whether it was a bit OTT or not. I don't know. I'm just going to hope and assume it was an accidental collision. But it wasn't nice to see Fabianski laid out there. He went off, and I was a little bit worried because before that, Max Kilman had gone off with the most random shoulder injury I've ever seen in my life. So he'd gone off. The guy that played literally every single second of football for Wolves in the Premier League of the season went off at West. He got injured at West Ham by doing nothing. The most West Ham thing ever. Then I was worried. I was thinking, oh no, our best defender's gone off. Our goalkeeper's gone off. It felt like it was only a matter of time before Southampton took the lead. But I do feel like that injury to Fabianski, I thought, killed the momentum that Southampton had. I think it gave Lopetegui the opportunity to start to shuffle the deck a little bit, and because we were struggling a little bit getting Jarrod Bowen into the game, he was backtracking, chasing Walker Peters a lot of the time, and I think the Fabianski injury allowed us just to alter things a little bit, because it felt like there was less crosses from Southampton after that. There was less danger from Southampton. And I don't think Areola had all that much to do. But up until that injury, I felt like Southampton were absolutely battering us. So I think that injury just helped West Ham out significantly, actually. Until half-time, not really much happened. I was glad the half-time whistle went. But the Saints were by far the better team in the first half. We have won. And I am happy we've won, but I am not happy with that performance. And I'll be lying if I sat here pretending that we played well in the first half. I think pretty much every player was struggling. I think Wan-Bissaka had a good 45 minutes. We then had 2 sort of rushing out from the back, centre-backs on the pitch. I think Emerson didn't look great. The midfield was crap. Bowen was struggling to get into the game. Kudus was struggling completely. He looked a little bit disinterested, and when he did look interested, he was struggling. And Fullkrug, I know he was getting a little bit of criticism. I thought he was okay. The problem for Fullkrug is that, and it's the same for any striker that we have at West Ham, the service is similar to the service that people that ordered their food from Morrison's for Christmas Day, non-existent. There wasn't anything. He was winning a couple of flick-ons in the first half. We're very passive from centre-back to goalkeeper to centre-back to centre-back, goalkeeper, centre-back, just passing between those three until we finally get pressed and then we hoof it. On a couple of occasions, Fullkrug did win it. He was flicking it on to nobody. It was just, the tactics are either non-existent, and the ones that do exist are pretty horrific. Anyway, second half came round. We had to make a change at the break because given the substitutions in the first half, we were already 2 subs down. Alvarez came on for Solar. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not going to change my opinion at halftime. When I saw that sub, I thought, don't get it. Don't get that sub. Solar didn't have a good first half, okay? He wasn't playing well, but I feel like Wan-Bissaka was the only, and Fabianski was the only one playing well for us. So for him to go off, it felt like a bit defensive, I guess, with Alvarez coming on. And I thought Alvarez went on to have a pretty good second half, actually. I think he did all right when he came on, but I was disappointed by that sub. Saying that, I didn't miss Solar in the second half because he wasn't great in the first half. It just felt a little bit like we needed to do something in midfield because it was non-existent in the first half. And I thought that sub wasn't really going to aid us in any way. I'm still unconvinced it did, although Alvarez had a good second half. I thought Soucek had a bad game for the 90 minutes. I thought Rodriguez had a bad game for 90 minutes. So although Alvarez came on and did well, it's not to say that one of the other two going off would have been better. We made it 1-0 an hour mark, though. We scored a goal. Something from nothing, really. A set piece got cleared out, came back in. Soucek headed it in. Fullkrug flicked it down. And Jarrod Bowen prodded it home. 1-0 West Ham. Jarrod Bowen scoring. And it feels a little bit like Jarrod Bowen FC at the minute. This is just how I feel, that if it's not him scoring, that we're probably not going to score a goal. Good to see Fullkrug get an assist. He didn't have a great game, but like I said, I do have a bit of sympathy for him in the sense that he didn't really get the ball. When we did get out wide, he wasn't really where he should be in the middle of the pitch. And I thought he did okay at winning some of the balls in open play. But he got an assist, and I feel like it was important that he gets up and running. And while he hasn't scored, that will hopefully do him the world of good. And we can work off that going forward. Fingers crossed. I appreciate I'm a bit biased, though, because I do like Fullkrug. But it was still nice. Bowen read the play really well, got his goal. I don't think it was his best game, but I feel a lot of the players are very limited by the tactics or lack of tactics in today's game. As the game went on, we just got deeper and deeper, and we brought on subs, quite quickly. Aaron Creswell came on, and we went to 5 at the back, and then the Soufal one at the end is not the end of the world. But when you see Creswell coming on, you're like, well, that's just an indication that we're going to cling on to a 1-0 lead away to Southampton. That's exactly what it was. A couple of half-decent breaks, one in particular for Somerville. Good play by Creswell and Bowen, a quick throw-in. Good little ball by Bowen for Somerville. Should be hitting the target and working Ramsdale, but puts it wide. Saying that, what I will say, I don't think Southampton had loads of chances in the second half. I do feel like we killed the game in that regards. But if Southampton were going to score today, it was going to be from a cross with Onuachu getting his head on it. It went close with a header towards the end. Dibbling should have done better. Wan-Bissaka with a rare mistake. And we won. And I feel pleased that we won. I'm quite calm because we've won. But in regards to the actual performance, I ain't happy with that one. I didn't enjoy that game at all. We were clinging on for a win away to Southampton, and it feels a bit like when I'm watching us, and it's not the first time, it was a bit like that against Brighton as well, where I feel like it's 3 or 4 matches to go in the season and we're in a relegation battle and we're clinging on for dear life kind of thing. And I understand he's under pressure still. 2 wins and 2 draws since Sullivan had to make a decision on him, which was after Leicester before Wolves. He's gone on to get 2 wins and 2 draws. So Lopetegui, Sullivan will be feeling justified, and Lopetegui will be feeling like he's turning it around. And the results would suggest he is. Like I said, you look at the results, it's certainly not bad. I think it's all right, actually. Beating Wolves, beating Southampton, drawn against Bournemouth and Brighton. I think the results are pretty good for those 4 games, but the performances are just, they are terrible. I've enjoyed, out of those 4 games, 8 halves of football, I've enjoyed 1 half, and that was the first half away to Bournemouth. It's not very good, is it? The bad news for Lopetegui and West Ham is that Rodriguez got a yellow card after his red card was overturned. It was never a red card, but he doesn't help himself. He jumped in like that on a couple of occasions before that incident, where it's sort of like almost like a trademark Rodriguez block, where he jumps in and lands on his feet to try and block a pass or whatever. But it's incredibly risky. But it was never a red card. When I seen the replay back, I thought this is getting overturned. And Stuart Atwell and VAR made the referee go check. Just like that. He didn't even look at it. He must have looked at it once or twice and decided, no, you've made a mistake here. So it was rightfully a yellow card, but he's now suspended for the game against Liverpool. Thomas Souček got booked. He's now suspended for the game against Liverpool. And I'm sure there's one more player on 4 cards. And Edson Alvarez, actually, he's on 4 yellows. So if he gets booked against Liverpool, he will miss the next game following that. But that's the 19th game, so it'll move up to 10 bookings. So discipline's still an issue. I think some of it's caused lack of discipline. I think some of it's caused by the poor tactics, and players are having to hit yellow cards just to make up for being exposed. Anyway, I'm going to, I guess, leave it there, I suppose. The one thing I will say, Wan-Bissaka had a good game, switched off on a couple of occasions, a bit sloppy at the end, but generally a good game from him. That's pleasing. He's in good form at the minute. Hopefully the Kilman injury isn't too bad. I thought Todibo did well when he came on, actually. But him and Mavropanos run out of the defence. And when you've got Kilman there, one of them doing it makes me nervous, but you've still got Kilman. To have both your centre-backs quite keen to come running out and chase the ball, I don't like that. Liverpool will rip us up. If we play like we did today, Liverpool will rip us a new one on Sunday evening. I'm dreading that game. I'm not looking forward to it at all. I think Bowen took his goal well. It's weird, though. It's like the Wolves game. We won, but maybe I'm just grumpy and I need to cheer up. But it doesn't really feel like we won a game, if that makes sense. I don't really have that joyous emotion I had it when Bowen scored. When Bowen scored, I said, get him, we're winning, here we go. But I think it's just lacking a bit of fun at the minute and lacking a little bit of confidence that the performances are going to improve and that we can take this form in. Like I said, we're unbeaten in 4, but my confidence in getting anything against Liverpool is non-existent. Even Man City following that. Man City are horrific at the minute, but I don't feel confident we're going to get anything in that match. And I should do. They are one of the worst forms in the league, teams in form in the league at the moment. Anyway, still not great. Like I said, to sum it up, Lopetegui's been here 7 months. Their manager hasn't even been here 7 days. And I feel more confident. I know how Juric wants Southampton to play. And I feel more confident that the Southampton players know how their manager wants to play. It didn't work. But I think they created enough chances to win today's game, whereas we were 2 shots on target. It was enough to win. But I do think we've only won this game because we played Southampton. Not good enough. It's not good enough, really. I think you're allowed to win a game and feel like you didn't deserve to win and you perhaps got away with it. And that's how I feel tonight. Anyway, man of match, Lukas Fabianski. I know he played less in half the match, but I thought 2 saves in particular were massive at pivotal points in the game as well. And he did his Fabianski version of the Cruyff turn, which gave me a heart attack. Always pleased to see that. And hopefully he's okay. I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit concerned because we're going into the Liverpool game. No Souček, no Rodriguez, possibly no Kilman, definitely no Fabianski because it was a concussion substitution. Even if he's okay, he's not allowed to play in that game against Liverpool, and understandably and correctly so. So he's now absent for the game. Hopefully he's okay because it looks a serious one. He knows there's certain players, if they go down and stay down, it's bad. Thomas Souček, for example. And Fabianski is certainly one of them. He wasn't moving very much. So I'm hoping that we're going to get some good news about Fabianski tonight. But I thought he was absolutely magnificent. 2 massive saves. And without Fabianski today, we don't win that game. And it's that simple. And it's another game where we've won, or we've got a point. Because Brighton, we got a point, and I thought Fabianski's man of the match. Today we've won, and I feel like our man of the match was our goalkeeper that played less than half the game. It's not great. Anyway, get involved in the comments below. I look forward to seeing what you guys thought of the match. Hopefully a bit more positive than me, and I'm just being a bit grumpy for some reason. But if you've enjoyed this video, please do drop a like, comment, click, and thumbs up. Subscribe to the Hammers chat, and I'll catch up with you in a bit.